Welcome to the deep dive. Think about it. Whether you're the one calling the shots or just starting out in the working world, there's this set of skills that's just absolutely crucial. And we're not really talking about the technical stuff here. Today, we're diving deep into the world of soft skills.
Exactly. Yeah. In this deep dive, we'll unpack what these often sort of overlooked skills really are. We'll explore why they carry so much weight, especially now, and highlight some key examples that look like absolute must-haves as we head towards 2025.
Okay, and just so we're all on the same page, we'll also break down how soft skills compare to those, hard skills we usually list first. You might actually be surprised how much employers value these interpersonal things.
Oh, definitely.
Our goal today is pretty straightforward. Just give you a clear, engaging understanding of soft skills and, well, why they matter for your growth, both at work and honestly personally too. All right, so when we talk about soft skills, what are we really talking about? What's the picture?
Well, basically, soft skills are a combination of your people skills, your social abilities, and how you communicate. They also cover things like your character traits, your general attitudes and mindsets, and even your social and emotional smarts. They're really the human element in how you work and connect.
So, less about the certificate on the wall and more about how you actually use that knowledge with, colleagues and clients. Is that fair?
That's a good way to put it, yes.
When you give us some concrete examples, like what does this look like in action?
Yeah, sure. Think about things like clear communication, being able to work well on a team, showing leadership potential, and being good at figuring out problems. These aren't things you can easily grade, but they're absolutely essential for getting things done and building good working relationships.
Right. And I guess especially when maybe lots of candidates look similar on paper, experience-wise.
Exactly.
These are the skills that could make someone really stand out, give them an edge.
Absolutely. And the data backs this up pretty strongly. Get this. A huge 97% of employers say soft skills are just as important, or maybe even more important, than hard skills.
Wow, 97%.
Yeah. And what's really telling is that over half, more than 50% of new employees who fail within the first 18 months, it's usually not because they can't do the technical parts of the job, it's because of a lack of soft skills. They struggle with the people side of things.
That's a powerful statistic. Really drives home how important they are.
Okay, so they're crucial. But let's clarify a bit. How do these soft skills really differ from the hard skills we always hear about for resumes?
Yeah, that's a key distinction. Hard skills are those measurable abilities. The things you learn through school, training courses, getting certifications, hands-on experience. Think about knowing Photoshop or having an emergency care license or mastering a specific coding language. They're usually teachable and testable.
Right, the stuff you can list clearly, maybe point to a diploma or certificate that proves you've got it. So soft skills are the other side of that coin. Exactly. Soft skills are the people skills. They're that blend of social, interpersonal talents, your character traits, your professional attitude. Things like teamwork, patience, managing your time well, communication, all those things we mentioned. They might be part of who you are or things you develop over time through experience.
So you'd probably want both on your resume, right? But it sounds like employers often dig deeper into the soft skills during the actual interview, seeing how you interact.
Precisely. You might list teamwork, but they'll really assess it when they ask, tell me about a time you dealt with a difficult team member, or how do you handle disagreements? That's where they see it in action.
Okay, got it. So we have a decent handle on what they are and how they're different from hard skills. Now let's get specific. What are the really key soft skills people should be focusing on, say, looking towards 2025?
Well, our sources point to 10 core soft skills that employers are really expected to prioritize heavily, and these cut across pretty much all jobs. The first one, right at the top, is time management.
Ah, time management, something we all grapple with, isn't it? What exactly does that mean in this context? Is it just about not being late?
Well, that helps, but it's broader than that. It's fundamentally about using your time effectively to be efficient. This breaks down to several related skills like managing stress, staying organized, knowing how to prioritize what's important, planning, and setting clear goals. It's really about making the most of your working hours.
Okay. Number two you mentioned is communication. That feels like it underpins almost everything else.
It really does. Communication is your ability to get ideas and feelings across clearly. But it's not just talking. It includes your writing, how well you present, being able to give and take constructive feedback. And this is huge active listening, really tuning in and understanding. Good communication isn't just broadcasting. It's about connection and understanding the other person's view. Vital stuff.
Makes sense. Okay, number three, Adaptability with how fast things change. Tech, the workplace, that seems critical.
Oh, absolutely essential. Adaptability is your knack for embracing change and adjusting smoothly to new situations. Workplaces are always in flux, new tech, new team members, shifting strategies. Being adaptable means you can handle that. Related skills here are things like self-management, staying optimistic, keeping calm under pressure, analyzing new situations, and self-motivation, keeping yourself going.
Number 4 is problem solving. I mean, what job doesn't involve hitting snags?
You're absolutely right. Problems, big or small, they just happen. So problem solving is that ability to look at a situation, figure out what's going wrong, and come up with good solutions. This involves skills like analysis, logical thinking, observation, really seeing what's going on, brainstorming options, and then making sound decisions.
Okay, next, teamwork. Even if you work alone sometimes, you usually have to collaborate eventually.
Definitely. Teamwork is all about working effectively with others toward a common goal. This needs skills like handling conflict constructively, collaborating smoothly, coordinating tasks, sharing ideas openly, and sometimes even mediating when people disagree.
Number 6 is creativity. Now, some might think that's just for artists or designers.
Yeah, but it's much broader. Creativity here isn't just about art. It's about imagination, using techniques like mind mapping, driving innovation, being willing to experiment, asking good questions that challenge how things are done, thinking outside the box in any role.
Interesting. Okay, number 7, leadership. And that's not just for managers.
Not at all. Leadership in this sense is about the ability to guide, mentor, or train others. It's also about taking initiative. Employers love seeing leadership potential because those people often help grow the whole organization. Related skills are things like management ability, authenticity, mentorship, generosity with knowledge, and even cultural intelligence understanding diverse perspectives.
Got it. Number 8, interpersonal skills. This feels like it ties a lot of the people stuff together.
It really does. Interpersonal skills are fundamentally about how well you connect with people, build relationships, and leave a positive impression. This includes things like empathy, using humor well, networking, being tolerant, and showing tact and diplomacy. Basically navigating social stuff gracefully.
Number 9, work ethic. That feels like a classic, something employers always want.
It absolutely is. Work ethic boils down to valuing work and putting in the genuine effort needed. It's highly valued everywhere. Related skills, responsibility, discipline, being dependable, showing commitment, and just overall professionalism.
And finally, number 10, attention to detail. I can definitely see why being thorough is crucial.
For sure. Attention to detail means being accurate and precise, even with the small stuff. It often separates good work from great work. This involves skills like careful scheduling, introspection, checking your own work acuity or sharpness, asking clarifying questions, and critical observation.
Okay, so that's the top 10 list for 2025. It's really interesting how they all seem to kind of support each other.
They definitely do. They're interconnected.
Now, our sources also mentioned how these skills play out differently in various careers. Can you give us a few examples?
Sure. Let's take customer service. No big surprise here. Skills like communication, really good listening, and empathy are absolutely vital. You're constantly dealing with people, often solving their problems.
Makes total sense. How about healthcare?
In healthcare, obviously the medical knowledge is key, but soft skills like a strong work ethic, being able to manage intense stress, and again, empathy for patients, these are critical for providing good care.
What about a field like digital marketing? Seems pretty tech-focused.
Even there, soft skills matter a lot. Things like curiosity, you have to keep learning, and digital adaptability to new platforms, and teamwork for running campaigns together are really important.
And for someone in management, what stands out?
For managers, emotional intelligence that EQ we'll talk more about is huge. Plus, the ability to motivate your team and demonstrate strong leadership, guiding people effectively.
Okay. How about education for teachers?
Well, communication is fundamental, right? Both speaking and writing clearly. Also, patience, definitely patience, and enthusiasm to keep students engaged.
And sales. I imagine soft skills are huge there.
Oh, absolutely central. Skills like negotiation, persuasion, influencing people, and empathy to really understand what the customer needs. That builds rapport.
What about a creative field like design?
In design, yes, you need talent, but also active listening to really get the client's vision, patience for all the revisions, and being able to take criticism constructively. That's key.
And maybe something like accounting. Seems very numbers-driven.
Even in accounting, effective communication is needed to explain complex finances. Plus, strong organization, and of course, that attention to detail we mentioned.
Business analytics.
For analysts, negotiation skills for dealing with stakeholders, active listening to grasp business needs, and sharp problem solving to find insights in the data. All crucial.
And one more, web development.
Yeah, coding skills are the base, but active listening for project requirements, patience for debugging, which can be frustrating in problem solving, are also really important for making good websites and apps.
Wow. It's really fascinating how, yeah, some skills are universal, but different jobs definitely put a spotlight on specific ones.
Exactly. It just shows that while your technical skills get you in the door for a specific role, how you interact and work with others is almost always key to success. And speaking of interacting effectively, let's maybe zoom in on one skill that seems to underpin so many others: emotional intelligence.
Yes, emotional intelligence, EQ. We hear that term a lot. What exactly is it, and why is it such a big deal in this soft skills conversation?
Well, emotional intelligence, or EQ, is basically your ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions. And just as importantly, to recognize, understand, and respond effectively to the emotions of other people. It's about being tuned in to feelings yours and theirs.
So it's deeper than just being nice. It's more about understanding the emotional undercurrents in situations.
Precisely. Key parts of EQ are self-awareness, knowing your own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, how you affect others, and empathy, which is that ability to really step into someone else's shoes and understand their feelings.
And it sounds like employers are really catching on to how valuable high EQ is at work.
They definitely are. McKinsey actually predicted a pretty big jump, about 26% growth in demand for these kinds of emotional skills between 2016 and 2030. And there's even research from Talent Smart EQ suggesting a real financial link. People with higher EQs tend to earn significantly more. Their study suggested around $29,000 more per year.
Wow, $29,000 more. That really highlights the value, doesn't it?
It certainly makes a compelling case.
Okay, so we know these skills are important. EQ is a big part of it, but how do you actually develop them? They aren't usually taught in a class.
That's true. It's not like learning software. Improving soft skills takes conscious effort, really, and a willingness to work on yourself. But the good news is our sources suggest some very practical ways to do it.
Okay, let's hear them. What are some steps people can take?
One of the most basic yet powerful is to practice active listening. Really focus when someone else is talking. Don't just plan your reply. Try to truly understand their perspective first. Another big one. Seek feedback regularly. Ask people you trust, colleagues, mentors, your boss, for honest input on your communication, your teamwork, whatever it is. Then actually use that feedback to grow.
Yeah, asking for feedback can feel a bit vulnerable, but I can see how useful that would be. What else?
Well, tying back to EQ, actively working on your emotional intelligence is key. This means building self-awareness, maybe through reflection, journaling, and learning ways to manage your own emotions constructively. Also, getting better at time management, organizing, prioritizing, planning that reduces stress and frees up mental energy, which helps all your other soft skills.
Those make sense as things you can actively practice. What about working with others?
Definitely. Getting involved in team projects is a great training ground. You learn to collaborate, navigate different personalities, deal with group dynamics. Also, make a conscious effort to improve your communication, both written and spoken. Practice being clear, concise, and considerate in how you express yourself.
Any other specific areas to target?
Sure. Develop your problem-solving muscles. Try breaking down challenges, brainstorming different solutions. That's valuable everywhere. Actively cultivate empathy. Make an effort to see things from other people's points of view. That builds stronger relationships. If public speaking is scary, practice speaking in front of others, maybe starting small. Build that confidence. And finally, learn and use stress management techniques. Staying calm and focused under pressure benefits everything else.
It really sounds like a lot comes down to self-awareness and just being committed to improving yourself over time.
Exactly. Personal effort is key.
Okay, so let's say someone has been working on these skills, they feel they have some strengths here. How do they effectively show that on a resume? That first piece of paper an employer sees.
That's a really practical question. The trick is to be strategic and tailor it. Don't just throw in a list of buzzwords like team player. Look really closely at the job description. What soft skills are they actually asking for or strongly hinting at? For example, a project manager role might mention needing strong communication for stakeholders, leadership for the team, being results-oriented, needing teamwork with other departments. So you'd specifically highlight those skills: communication, leadership, goal-oriented, teamwork in your skills section.
Right, match it to what they're explicitly looking for, but just listing them isn't enough, is it?
No, definitely not. You need to prove it. Back up those claims with concrete examples elsewhere on your resume, usually in your work experience descriptions or maybe an achievements section. So if you listed leadership, describe a project you led and the positive outcome. If you claim problem solving, briefly mention a specific challenge you tackled and the solution you implemented. Show, don't just tell.
Provide the evidence. Makes perfect sense. What about if someone's changing careers? How do soft skills fit in then?
Ah, that's where transferable skills are golden. These are the soft skills you've already honed in one job that are totally relevant in a different field. For instance, maybe a teacher moving into corporate training. They'd highlight their communication, presentation skills, patience, ability to explain things clearly, maybe leadership from the classroom, all highly transferable to training adults.
So even if the technical side is new, those core soft skills provide a strong foundation.
Exactly. They show you have fundamental abilities that will work well in the new context, even while you're learning the specific technical bits. They bridge the gap.
This has been incredibly insightful. To kind of wrap things up, can we just quickly recap the main reason why these soft skills matter so much for career success?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, soft skills are crucial because they dictate how well you interact with everyone, colleagues, clients, managers. They determine how effectively you build relationships. Strong soft skills build trust. They make collaboration smoother. They create a more positive, more productive environment for everyone. So ultimately, having a good mix of both solid hard skills and strong soft skills makes you much more employable, opens up more opportunities, and really helps you advance in your career.
So the big takeaway seems to be soft skills aren't just, nice to haves. They're fundamental. They're essential for actually navigating the modern workplace, building those connections, and really succeeding whatever your job is.
Precisely. Couldn't have said it better.
Okay, and on that note, here's something for you, our listener, to think about. As you reflect on these top soft skills we've covered, time management, communication, adaptability, EQ, all of them, maybe ask yourself, which one or two could you consciously focus on developing further? And think beyond just work, how could strengthening these skills maybe lead to richer, more effective interactions in all parts of your life? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.